Hi, and welcome to the Reiki Quiz, week 2. And I've got another 10 questions for you. We're going to have a 10-second timer on between these questions this week. 2 or 3 people said that 30 seconds was far too long. Obviously, they know their stuff when it comes to Reiki, and they didn't need that long. So I'm assuming that most of you are in that position. So we're going to reduce it to a 10-second timer. So I hope that's going to work for everybody. So I hope you're ready for this week's Reiki quiz. Okay, same as before, I'm going to ask you a question and you've got multiple choice. I'm going to give you 4 possible answers for a question. This is just for fun quiz. Okay, so on what date did Chujiro Hayashi die? Chujiro Hayashi, Mikao Usui's student. On what date did he die? Was it A, the 9th March 1926, B, the 11th December 1980, C, the 11th of May 1940, or D, the 7th of December 1941? I love that timer. It's a fantastic timer. I'm still bad at stopping it at the right time. I will give you the answers to all these questions at the end. Okay, question 2. Which of the following is not a Reiki precept or a Reiki principle? A, just for today, do not worry. B, be grateful for small mercies. C, honour your parents, teachers and others. And D, just for today, do not anger. So which of those is not a Reiki precept? Okay, fantastic. That was an easy one. Okay, question 3. This one, I like this question. Took a lot of research, this one. Let's see if you know this answer. According to Reiki masters Bridget Muller and Horst Gunther, Hayao Takata recommended the drinking of which drink several times a day? Was it A, gin and tonic? Was it B, Takata's rejuvenating drink? Was it C, Usui's Reiki spritzer? Or D, Hayashi's healing cocktail? Yeah, but think about that one. That's not so easy, is it? Have a think. Okay, fantastic. So, question 4. Question 4. According to Reiki master Frank Petter, what are the 3 pillars of Reiki? Are they A, Gasho, Reijiho, and Chiryo? Are they B, Gasho, Taliho, and Chiryo? C, Origami, Chiryo, and Usui Do? Or D, Jiu-Jitsu, Gasho, and Ryoho Shishin? Again, quite a tricky one, I think. So you've got another 10 seconds to think about that and get your answer written down. Okay, fantastic. So we're coming up to question 5. We're halfway through this week's Reiki quiz. Okay, question 5. What was the original cost of training to be a Reiki master in the Reiki Alliance? Was it A, $5,000? Was it B, $1,000? C, free? Or E, $10,000? That's not such a difficult one. Most people who are into Reiki should know that, I think. Excellent, excellent. We're now over halfway through and we're at question 6. Okay. Who released the book and card set in 2000 called Archetypal Reiki? Was it A, Bronwyn and Fran Stein, B, Dorothy May, C, Chris and Penny Parks, or D, Mary Hall? Yeah, you need to be a bit of a Reiki nerd to know that one, I think. I still can't stop this on time. I'll get there eventually. Okay, question 7. Question 7. I hope you're keeping up with me here. According to Reiki Master Frank Petter, when did Chujiro Hayashi receive his Reiki Shihan status from Mikao Usui? Was it A, 1927, B, 1924, C, 1925, or D, 1916? Okay, we're getting near to the end of this week's quiz. Question 8. Question 8. An easy one. You should get this. This is a piece of cake, this one. Mikao Usui's wife was called A, Sally Suzuki, B, Seishi Suzuki, C, Sadiki Suzuki, or D, Sadeko Suzuki? Not so difficult, is it, really? Oh, come on, timer. You got some extra. You got an extra 2 seconds there because my timer wouldn't start. Oh, okay. I need an assistant. Okay, question 9. Here we are. We're near the end now. Question 9. This is another really easy one for all you Reiki nerds out there. Who developed the first form of what could be called Tibetan Reiki? Was it A, Arthur Robertson, B, Ranga Premaratna, C, William Rand, or D, Kathleen Milner? Okay, and the final question for this week. Traditionally, you're not even going to need a timer on this. This is so easy. I'll give you the timer though. Traditionally, which Reiki symbol is used for distant healing? Was it A, symbol 1, B, symbol 2, C, symbol 3, or D, symbol 4? So there we are. That's all of this week's 10 questions. So I guess you want to know the answers, don't you? I'm sure everybody got that last one, didn't they? No one can possibly have got that wrong. Anyway, let's go through the answers. Question 1. On what date did Chujiro Hayashi die? Was it the 9th of March 1926, the 11th of December 1980, the 11th of May 1940, or the 7th of December 1941? It was in fact C, the 11th of May 1940. Okay, I hope you all got that one. Which of the following is not a Reiki precept? Is it A, just for today, do not worry? B, be grateful for small mercies? C, honour your parents, teachers and elders? Or D, just for today, do not anger? It was in fact B, be grateful for small mercies. We should always be grateful for small mercies, of course we should, but it's not a Reiki precept. Okay, number 3. This one is a really tough one. I'll be surprised if anyone gets this. According to Reiki masters Bridget Muller and Horst Gunther, Haweo Takata recommended the drinking of which drink several times a day? Was it A, gin and tonic? Was it B, Takata's rejuvenating drink? C, Usui's Reiki spritzer? Or D, Hayashi's healing cocktail? It was, in fact, wasn't the gin and tonic, unfortunately. It was B, it was Takata's rejuvenating drink. That was the one that Mrs. Takata recommended we should all be drinking several times a day. And if you look for Bridget Muller and Horst Gunther's book, there is in fact a recipe for that drink in there. Okay, question 4. According to Reiki Master Frank Petter, what are the 3 pillars of Reiki? Are they A, Gasho, Reijiho and Chirio? B, Gasho, Taliho and Chirio? C, Origami, Chirio and Usui-do? Or D, Jujitsu, Gasho and Ryoho Shishin? It was in fact A, Gasho, Reijiho and Chirio. Okay, what was the original cost of the training to be a Reiki master in the Reiki Alliance? Was it A, $5,000, B, $1,000, C, completely free, or was it E, $10,000? It was in fact $10,000, and there are reports of some of Mrs. Takata's students actually selling their homes to be able to afford to pay that fee. Remember, this was back in the 1970s and 80s, $10,000, huge sum still, but it was an even bigger sum back then. Okay, question 6. Who released the book and card set in 2000 called Archetypal Reiki? Was it A, Bronwyn and Franz Stein, B, Dorothy May, C, Chris and Penny Parks, or D, Mary Hall? It was in fact Dorothy May. I don't actually have a copy of Archetypal Reiki, so I have no idea if it's any good, but it was put out by Dorothy May in 2000. Number 7. According to Reiki Master Frank Petter, I've got two questions according to Reiki Master Frank Petter this week. When did Chujiro Hayashi receive his Reiki Shihan status from Mikao Usui? Was it A, 1927, B, 1924, C, 1925, or D, 1916? It was in fact C, 1925. That's when Chujiro Hayashi became a Reiki Shihan under Mikao Usui. Mikao Usui's wife was called, tricky one this I think, was she called A, Sally Suzuki? I like that name, Sally Suzuki. B, Seishi Suzuki. C, Sadiki Suzuki. Or D, Sadeko Suzuki? It was in fact Sadeko Suzuki. I'd like it to have been Sally Suzuki. I quite like that name, but it wasn't. It was Sadeko Suzuki. Number 9. Who developed the first form of what could be called Tibetan Reiki? Not that there really is such a thing, of course, but was it A, Arthur Robertson, B, Rangapremaratna, C, William Rand, or D, Kathleen Milner? Yeah, all likely candidates, aren't they? But actually, it was Arthur Robertson who developed something called Rakuke Reiki, which was in fact the world's first form of so-called Tibetan Reiki. And finally, question 10, really easy one. This is to ensure that everybody gets at least 1 point during this quiz, because you just can't get this wrong. Traditionally, which Reiki symbol is used for distant healing? Is it A, symbol 1, B, symbol 2, C, symbol 3, or D, symbol 4? It was, obviously, checking my notes, what am I doing? C, symbol 3. Okay, there we go. This week's Reiki quiz, and I will see you all again roughly this time next week for another Reiki quiz and another 10 questions. And please do sign up for my Reiki 1 class in Zamalek in Cairo at Haven Holistic Healing, which is going to be running in November. I can't remember the dates and I should be able to remember them, but we just scheduled it today and places are going already. 2 people booked on it today already. So book your place on that class. And I'll see you soon. Take care.